Hello folks, thanks for joining. Sorry, it took a bit longer than normal. There we go. Hello everyone. Right, blah, 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 blah. I just got back from the toilet break, right. So I transition into my files that I'm about to open. It's a good start. Anyway, more the same as the title suggests. I haven't changed the title in like the last 4 streams, so I'm just going to carry on with what I was doing earlier, which was this one. Basically working on right at the start of chapter 1, so let's do that for tonight. Yes, hello everyone. Sorry if I missed any howdy doos. Right, I've done that one. I'm going to clean up everything for this scene before I colour it. I think this is the next one I need to clean up, yeah. So copy that. Get back to this one. Hope you're all doing well though. Once again, thanks for wasting your time by watching me draw. It's appreciated. Why I got load this up so it fits the frame, which is that blue rectangle that you probably can see. I didn't really want to show the dialogue there, but I forgot. Slowly dying from time. I guess that is a way of doing it. You might as well do something in the meantime. I really shouldn't put it like that. I need more people to be watching these streams. I don't really want. I shouldn't word it like that. Hey, thanks Husky. Thanks for doing my job. Well, I'm not that narcissistic where I go around recommending people that they want read it. Well, anyway, let's get drawing, shall we? I always start. These are meant to be drawing streams, right? But I never actually start drawing right away, half the time. Right, he's in the foreground, so I'm going to make the outline thicker here. Also, I figure I chose to do these panels tonight because I don't think I've drawn the principal on stream yet, so this will make a slight change. And as I've mentioned, I have got deadlines to meet now. So I've got to get on with it. But yeah, basically this is what I've been working on today, minus a couple other panels as well. I hope your friend likes it though, Husky. Mind you, I won't take any offence if they don't. I appreciate them just, you know, taking their time to read it, as well as you guys. doesn't like it? Sometimes I don't even like it. Well, in terms of the drawing. You know, you can't please everyone. So that's why I don't really take offence to it when someone says they don't like it, because, like I said, you can't please everyone. And if you can bear that in mind, you should do fine with whatever you want to make. Like, if I can make a story that people like, then it goes to show that anybody can make a story, as long as anybody can be, like, you know, relatively successful, but they need the exposure. That's part of the problem, though. That's my theory, at least. Like, only certain stuff gets liked so much is obviously because of the exposure. That sometimes you don't even need a good idea. In fact, all you do is need the exposure, and then that'll, yeah, like with Bowsette. Also, hi Lotso, thanks for joining again. Right. I've gone down a point here because these guys are a bit further back. Again, this is something I used to do. That's the only reason why I'm doing this. Making, like, the foreground, people in the foreground thicker. I mean, the line art's thicker, I should say. I should probably word myself very carefully there when I say thicker. What would you attribute my major exposure? I know that for my animation, for this channel at least, is when I did my first Markiplier animation. That's basically my first major exposure. I think I gained about, like, at the time I don't think I had many subs, and then within a couple of weeks I think I had 5,000 subs. Though not gonna lie, I did the Markiplier animation in the first place because I thought it would possibly work, that would possibly work, and it actually did. And the best thing about it, Mark doesn't just pay an exposure, he actually pays the animators. What a nice guy. Shame a lot of people aren't that generous. Most people would say, oh, we'll feature it on your channel and we'll make all the ad revenue from it. But hey, you get exposure. Because that always lasts forever, doesn't it? Yeah, Mark is one of those very few big YouTubers out there that realise how much time goes into animating something. And also, going back to the ad revenue thing, another reason he does it is because I don't know if he does animate features them now, but his reasoning for it was it's also to compensate for ad revenue that he would get for his video. In fact, even back because it was like my first. Like, even I said you don't have to pay me for it, but he insisted. Because at the time I was just excited that he was going to feature on his channel. I was like, wow, it's going to get so much exposure. But back then I didn't real well. Back then I wasn't freelancing, so I would have been fine with the exposure. Actually, this is when I realised it was good that he paid me, because not long after, other people were uploading the animation, so I was like, oh okay, that pissed me off a little bit. So I was like, oh okay, it's a good thing he did pay me for it, because I'd probably get nothing otherwise, besides the exposure obviously. But at the time I was just excited that he got, well, he got exposure. No, he let's just say he paid me fairly for the amount. He didn't. Let's just say he didn't pay me the amount that animators make these days from one video. I hope I'm making sense in trying to explain this though. But yes, that is the elongated answer of how I got my first like major exposure. It just took me 10 minutes to explain it. But here I don't have to worry about that anymore. Got this, I'm going to be doing this as a job now, so woo! Unfortunately, even though it's like one of my first like major exposures, that's probably one of my best experiences in terms of being paid and getting exposure, sadly, and it's one of my first animations. You know, it's just how it is. Also, I was stupid enough to take up jobs after that. That basically paid me nothing, but you know, I was desperate. But I'll say no much more than that. Why am I redoing the first chapter? Is because we're trying to like make the best out of the relaunch, basically. And also, me personally, I just want to redo bits of chapter 1. Which basically trying to make the introduction a bit more memorable. Which I can agree that the first chapter's not very, like, the way the characters are introduced aren't very good, to be honest, so we're making it slightly better, hopefully. That is basically the reason why we're redoing it. Only the first half though, the canteen, the scene in the canteen's basically being left untouched. The only thing I'll be touching up there is probably the artwork. Wait, what? Why do I say probably? I mean definitely. I was looking at it just yesterday. It really does need improvement in places. Well, with my first animation, he didn't even know who I was. But granted, he's not the only animator who he's featured, I should say. Like I said, partly the reason why I did it in the first place is because I wanted to see if it would work, if I would actually get him to feature it on my channel. Or on his channel, sorry. And it actually did work. What I didn't expect though was the payment. Well, him to offer a payment, I mean. I don't know if he does it anymore though. Probably gets too many people messaging him about these sort of things. Well, let's do this bit of hair again. Right, that's cleaned up. Yep, that'll do for that one. Oh, so new frame. Actually, what I did now I remember, I actually tweeted it to him. So that's how he saw it. Yeah. At that time, literally no one knew about my animation channel. Apart from people who followed me on my old channel, which I won't talk about. Anyway, I need this one. There we go. Pardon me. See, this is one of these panels here where the style is going to clash so badly because I could not draw like this well 3 years ago. I've tried to make an attempt here to make it look like how I used to draw things, but it's just not working really. Oh dear. I'll use a 5-point pen for this. Let's do that again. Oh, thank you, Sam, again for the $20. $20 dues. Thanks so much, man. Once again. Did you hear about Mumpkey Jones? I did not, because I don't know who they are. Do enlighten me, though. But thank you, Sam. Once again, I appreciate your generosity. Whoa. Just close that gap up there. Don't know why I did that. No, I can't close it up. There we go. Luckily I don't need to worry too much about consistency with this character because he barely shows up in the series. But I'm pretty sure he did not look like this back in chapter 1. But luckily the other panels that have him in it, or the old ones I should say, they're not going to be used, so again, this is probably something that only I am going to notice and nobody else. Well, you guys are going to know now because I told you. Thank you, Jack, for the 2 once again. Who is this animator? Decimal. Granted, I've been like that. But what you have to what I've come to understand though, is that sometimes talent's not just measured by how well you can draw though, it's also the ideas, in my opinion. The reason I say that is because not long ago, only out of morbid curiosity, I watched 8 Crazy Nights, that Adam Sandler movie, not long ago, whilst I was ill actually, when I had the flu. Just out of morbid curiosity, and yes, it's terrible. And even though the animation is amazing, I'll just say that, but when you've got such a shit story, the amazing animation doesn't make up for it. It's so bad. It's just like watching that film. I understand now why people hate Adam Sandler movies. But that movie, like, it was like insultingly bad. Just the fact, like, the animation was so amazing, but then you got this just juvenile writing. And that's probably the movie that killed off that studio as well, for all we know. But yeah, I heard bad things about that film. I can't remember what video I watched ages ago. Hello, Pat. Thanks for joining again. Oh yeah, this channel shut down for no reason. Well, modern YouTube. Sorry, YouTube. Spencer One. I haven't heard of him. Mind you, if he's a professional animator, he's going to make all of us look bad. Oh yeah, lucky you. Over here, that movie doesn't come out till next year. Like, I'm not really into Dragon Ball that much, but I've said to my friend I'll go to see it with him. Providing it doesn't give me a seizure, that's the only thing I'm worried about. Because a lot of the trailer has a lot of flashing lights, and I hope like the entire movie's not like that. But I like to think because it's Dragon Ball, there'll be like about 5 minutes of fighting, and the rest of it's dialogue. That's what I'm expecting. Or standing around and talking during a fight. If they don't do that, then it's not a Dragon Ball movie. I'll colour this guy up actually. That way I can show you what he looked like when I drew him last. Yeah, he looks completely different there. This is from about 3 years ago though. Actually, I want to pick a better picture than that. From this one. Jesus Christ. What was wrong with me? Call this cove, colour for short. Anchor the base, which is the cleanup layer. Actually, his face looks completely different in each panel, so... Goes to show how often I drew this character. Also, he's got yellow teeth. Yellowish teeth, I guess. What do I think of 2D animation? 2D Disney animation? It's alright. Can't really... Well, I should probably speak in the past tense now, because it's probably non-existent. It was alright. It was the best of its kind. But you know what was missing from those movies? Live action remakes. Oh yeah, I need to flip it. This is the right this is the right way round. I don't really have much opinion on 2D Disney films because I haven't watched one in years, like properly. Last time I checked, one of my favourite Disney 2D animated films was Beauty and the Beast. Or Lion King, or Great Mouse Detective. They're all good films in their own right. Won't go too mad with the shading, because... oh yeah, Aladdin's another good one. Of course. I mean, let's be honest, most of them are worth watching. They're good. Apart from maybe Pocahontas, I think that's like one at the top of my head I can think of that I didn't really enjoy. Again, another example of a idea that shows that it's not just about style. You can't win people over with style. That's why you shouldn't feel too bad when you see like an animator who's like at god level. Unless all they want to do is aspire to be an animator, then fair enough. Right, anyway. That one's done. So, next one, the next panel. Not going to find it there. Granted, I used to get really jealous when I saw like people who were really good at drawing, but now I just sort of admire it. Like I said, it's not just how good you draw things, it's also the ideas that go behind it all. That's another reason why I find like these live action remakes pointless, because they don't do anything new. Like, the live action stuff doesn't excite me at all. Like, I've already seen these stories before, so why should I care about the live action remakes? Now another close up, and now I've flipped this picture I can see how wonky it is, but I'm not going to change it too much, or at all actually, because I've got to keep with the theme, well, the style of the first episode. If I want to make life easier for myself. I dissect my own drawings, if that's what you mean. Live action. Yeah, that would never happen. Even though if I was given the chance. Well, that's another thing as well. I don't know about Disney, but you choose to have something done. Sorry, let me start again. You choose to have something animated for a reason, because there's certain things you just don't work in live action, which is another reason why these live action remakes don't make any sense when they copy it like exactly the same. Like, this is going to be a complete rehash of Lion King, for example. Like, are Timon and Pumbaa going to be funnier in live action? Probably not. Unless they make them really cartoony looking, which is what you need to do with Timon and Pumbaa. But you know, the majority of people who watch these films, they don't realise that. Don't want to sound like a snob, but it's true. People eat this shit up. And it won't stop until people do. Let's do that again. No, I don't, Pat, but I'm pretty sure someone has said that before. Says they remind them of Archie comics. But I've never read an Archie comic in my life. Not even sure what an Archie is. Right, let's step back a little bit. See how this is looking from a distance. Sometimes you got to look back at your picture. It's a good thing I did, because I was going to do that completely differently. I was going to follow the guide, which would have looked completely off. Another comparison I get is well, it's happened a couple of times. People seem to are reminded of Scooby-Doo when they read DYG for some reason, which is very odd for me because I don't like Scooby-Doo, never have. No, basically my idea for DYG is basically just by watching Love Complex all those years ago. I've said this on a stream about a week or so back. No, I don't think it was the entire series itself, Decibel, but I think it was one particular chapter. Something happened and people were like, "Oh, that's just like Scooby-Doo." I mean, these are all coincidences though. Like, I have tried watching Scooby-Doo, but this was a very long time ago though. Like, even as I despised it as a kid. That was the last time I watched it properly. In fact, when I did that Scooby-Doo parody, I wasn't harsh enough on the show. I'm just not a fan of those. Can you say it's formulaic? I guess it is. I guess it's like one of like definition of formulaic, where it's just the same thing every episode, with like no variation whatsoever. Bearing in mind, this I don't think it was ever for like really young kids. Scooby-Doo, when it originally came out. Actually, saying that, you can do formulaic stuff, but the problem with Scooby-Doo didn't bother me that much as a kid, but I did try to watch it not that long ago again. In fact, I think I watched it when I was doing that parody, actually working on the parody. The characters are so boring as well. Like, Shaggy's meant to be the comic relief, isn't he? But he's not funny. He likes to eat sandwiches. Whoop-de-doo. Really, the only formulaic show I can think of, if it falls in the same category, is Tom and Jerry. Right, I'm done with this panel. So, now on to the other one. Now we're doing this one. I didn't think I'd get through all these so quickly. Actually, I swear we've had this conversation before. I'm experiencing deja vu now, which is weird. Mind you, I have the memory of a sieve. I swear we've had this conversation before, though. I've got a really bad case of deja vu right now. Let's do that again. At least it's not just me then. We actually have talked about this before. Why did no one tell me? The only thing is though, Decimal, if you want to make something as good as Tom and Jerry, you need to do a lot of animating. Because that's the thing, that's what was so good about Tom and Jerry, is that everything's animated really well, so the slapstick works better. That's how you make good slapstick in animation. You've got to animate it as best as you can, otherwise the effect's just not as good. Unfortunately, it's going to eat through your budget. Or if not, do the best you can with it. That's part of the reason why, in my opinion, like the modern Tom and Jerry shows don't work as well. Simple as that. Because of that reason, they're not willing to put in the money to, you know, to work on the slapstick to make it better. I mean, sometimes it's not. That's not always the case, but if you want to make slapstick as good as Tom and Jerry's, then that's what you got to do. No, I just mean like good slapstick, like on the lines of Tom and Jerry's, basically. If you want to get to that sort of level, of, you know, that's what I was trying to say. I swear we've had this conversation before, though. Experiencing deja vu. Ugh. Together Gang Soldier Game Edition. Is it weird that I'd be up for seeing that? I'd love to see how people can bootleg this. You can't bootleg a bootleg anyway. I hope you can sort of tell that she's trying to hide her face here within a turtleneck. There's Dating simulators. If that's what I think it is, then no. Definitely not. I've seen enough Let's Plays to know where those go. Why can't I get this right? We have to do it like that. Guys, it's so wonky. What's wrong with me? This one's not even centre. It's probably a part of the problem here. Because usually this line is usually... I usually use it as a guide that is the centre. There's some dialogue that's meant to go here. You can probably just about see it. Pretty much decimal. Well, I don't think liking stuff shows up, but retweeting it does. I think. I should know I'm a Twitter whore now. Oh, hello Emon. Sorry I didn't see you there. Thanks for joining though. Despite being a bit late. Probably going to be here for another half an hour, so... yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Just hope it goes well. And make sure I meet my deadlines. I'll do one more panel and then I'll start colouring these ones. I'm not going to jump backwards and forwards tonight. Just wanted to stick to one scene. Again, this is drawn too well. Oh dear. I consider this a bad thing because I'm redoing chapter 1 here, so without making changes to everything, so that's why I see this as a problem. I know that might seem weird, but trust me, it's not. I mean, it's quite a nice sketch, give it that. It came out alright. I think all creators fear Jack, that sort of thing. But I like to be optimistic and thinking that people on Webtoon are a bit more sensible than people on the internet in general. You know, people are free to do what they want. Mind you, luckily, I don't think there's any of it yet. So let's keep it that way, shall we? Oh, my fingers really hurt all of a sudden. Ah. Ow. Been drawing all day, haven't I? I got up quite early today as well to get on with this. I've been drawing for about nigh on 10 hours, almost non-stop. I've had a couple of breaks. Gotta get used to this though. My poor little hooves, yeah. That's why I find it hard to draw. Don't have any thumbs. They're gonna take my thumbs. Right, pain's gone now randomly. Actually, I flipped it back to the normal side. It does actually look a bit wonky in places, but that is fine. Actually, these glasses will need to be changed a little bit. God, my fingers actually are hurting a little bit. I think I will be stopping after this anyway. That's enough drawing for tonight. Just for another 20 minutes and then I'll be done. Let's do this tie again, though. This is just training, though. I'm gonna have to start doing this full time, so my hands better get used to it. In all fairness, Amon, I don't usually draw for 10 hours straight. I mean, I have been taking breaks anyway, but I just want to keep on top of this, you know. Like I say, I've got like deadlines now to meet. I've got one to meet at the end of this year, so I've got to get on with it. Thank you, Jack, for the 2 once again. Now, I shouldn't read whilst drawing. It does not work. For Porks Without Thumbs charity and for good pain. Thanks, Jack. That tongue is awfully big, but I just realised how big it is in proportion to everything else. Right, time to do some colouring for a little bit, and then that'll be it for tonight. Wait, I don't need to open files, I've got them right here. I guess I'll do this one. So now I'm going to get confused. Remember here, the colour is on a separate layer. The base is the cleanup, and FG is foreground, so that's for the eyes. Do things in layers, trust me. Now to find their colours. I think there they are. So where's that one? As this is what I usually do. I usually hop backwards and forwards with one colour. This is why I do things on timelines. So that I can hop on there and do the hair. See, that actually takes less time to do it like this. To hop backwards and forwards. I don't know if it makes for good streaming content though, that's the problem. Also, I'm trying to hide her face here in these shots, you notice, because it's trying to build up to the before the proper reveal here. Again, this is another thing I wanted to change, was her reveal basically. Though it's sort of revealed a bit here, but it's a bit more gradual because here she just shows up. Doesn't seem, I just don't think that's as good. Like here, actually I might add some shadow here instead. Yeah, that's better. Because she is like looking down there, so. Drawing full time, basically means this is going to be my job next year. I'm on. I'll be working for Webtoon basically. Not a bad position to be in. Like I said, it hasn't quite sunk in yet. That probably won't happen until the time comes. God, her anatomy was terrible back then. At least I don't cringe as much as I used to. But mind you, I've looked at these so much now that I'm just like sort of over the cringe. Wait, that's not right. Yeah, that's better. Actually, you know what? That's fine like that. Don't need to go mad with the shadow here. Sort of keeping things simple is sometimes the best thing to do. I would usually put these shaded colours on a separate layer, but like I said, I'm keeping things simple during the scene, so don't need to bother. Don't need to worry about it so much. Just a little bit here and there. Some for the hair. I have to put some here because she's looking down, so her head's hanging down. Now we'll do Morrison, aka the teacher. God, look at his arm. Unless you're George Lucas. In all fairness, I can see where he's coming from now. George Lucas. Because I'm always like that now. I'm always thinking, like thinking in hindsight how I could have done certain things better. Right, I've got to be careful here because these two colours are going to clash a little bit. In fact, they probably are. Yeah. That's right. Get darker green. I mean, I wouldn't even use that kind of green now for the shading, but that's what I got. That's what I got here, so I'm using it. Just here and there, though. Not like that. I mean, it's just good thing I'm scrapping that panel because he looks completely different there. Yeah, mind you, George Lucas, he did have a thing about adding pointless shit to his films. That was where he went wrong. Like, there's some improvements that I do approve of, like, it's not very good. I mean, it's an alright film, Phantom Menace, where Yoda's now CG. Like, that's an improvement. That's actually welcomed, in my opinion. Because before he was like some weird puppet and it looked terrible. It looked worse than it does in the 70s. in the the first 3 original films, I should say. No, I haven't heard of Wolfman Jack. Lotso. Oh, Wolf Rock. No, I still haven't heard of it. I'm going to jump backwards and forwards again with these colours. So there. There. This is just easier for me. This is for the glasses, or the lens of the glasses. Again, I change this colour in future, but here it's like grey, which doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But that's what I went with at the time. And the hair as well. Drop that in for each panel. Don't forget his sideburn, which I did, and there. Well, I better make sure this is on the right layer. Yeah, it is, thank God. Hope you don't mind these extreme close-ups right now. And now for the skin. Oh yeah, I haven't done this one either. Why has it done that? There's a slight gap there, you probably can't see it, but I can. There we go. I don't think I've actually coloured like this on stream before. Can't believe I've only done it till now. Right, I guess for now I'll stick to this panel, and then I'll probably call it a night. For his shirt, I just use a pure white. Well, I used to apparently. Colour of their tongue. I think I can just get it. Yeah. Do a bit more shading here because he's leant over as well. Some here as well, so his arm sticks out a bit more. Guess that'll be enough. Let's do that again. Turn the colour margin down if that happens. There we go. Ah, I forgot his little front pocket as well. Well, you're not going to see it there, it's obscured. Here you'll see it though, so I better draw that in. Not in that colour though. Ah, I just realised I didn't finish his arm off here. Right, Well, he's holding the door, so his arm. He needs to have an arm, doesn't he? Sorry about that. Didn't give you an arm. Hundreds of pebbles. What? On 100 pebbles on screen at a time? If so, then Godspeed to you, Decimal, because that is a lot of animating, you're right. Anyway, just staring at chat now. I will be done soon, guys. What frame did I say I was doing? I was doing this one, then this one. I was in the middle of doing it and I just stopped. Again, he looks completely different here. But that's alright. These panels are scrapped, so it doesn't matter too much. Just a little bit of shadow though, not too much for this guy. Oops. Why has it done that? Okay. Oh, his tie's completely different as well. Maybe I'll give him a stripy tie then. Goes to show how much I pay attention to my old drawings. Just to show his authority here that he's got a stripy tie. In all fairness, that's like the only 3 panels I think you see of this guy, so now to do his teeth and his tongue. Put white in here, even though it makes absolutely no difference at this point. Thanks, Decimal. I try my best to give advice every now and then. The best of my abilities, at least. Yeah, good luck with that, though. That is... You got your work cut out there doing something like that. Especially if they're going slowly across the stream. The screen. If they're dashing across the screen, it might not be so bad. But obviously, the slower you're gonna make it, the longer it's gonna take. Like, animating slow-mo is probably one of the hardest things you could do. And time-consuming, of course. Which is why I've never attempted it. In fact, no, pardon me, tell a lie, I did attempt it. Quite a while back, though. Now I've got the hiccups. And whilst I was working on it, it made me realise that I'm just there's no way I'm going to get it done, so I scrapped it. I think it was just like some hair blowing in the wind, and it was taking me forever to do. I guess that'll do now for this stream, guys. Yeah, I'm done. So what did we do this stream? We did that. That's not too bad, I guess. 5 frames in about an hour, less than an hour and a half. Well, not straight from scratch though, but. Thanks, Aston. I guess you mean the comic in general though, like these panels aren't going to be finished on stream tonight. Like I said, I'm done. It's almost an hour and a half anyway, so that's usually when I finish these streams now. Right, the music's just faded out, so I'm going to fade that out. I'll just pause it actually. Also my fingers are still hurting quite a bit, so I'm going to stop. Right. Yeah, it's not the perfect picture there, but I'll end on that one. Right. Thanks again, guys. Thanks again, Sam and Jack, for their generosity. Have I missed anybody else? Hang on, let me check. No, Jack and Sam being the MVPs. Of course, you guys are the MVPs as always for tuning in. So I will see you guys later. Hopefully Saturday. So have a good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Now it's time for me to fade out. See you later, guys.